the same thing on my report, so we're good. I just got it.
Can we meet you?
Yeah.
Okay, it's February 8th. Thanks for that. You still wanna? Yes. Is there a second? And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Public comments, anyone?
Good.
She's here, she can talk.
Just here to take a record, just performing a civic duty. Thank you.
Tom, you're up.
All right, both our project and finance reports were accepted by the state and complete. For 22, I got that news when I was at my conference in Madison. Now we'll just wait for the checks for the two different things we closed out on, our planning grant and our hazmat grant. Was down at the 3-day conference, did a lot of sessions on damage assessments, since that's what we've been dealing with since the December storm, and what the new expectations from the state and feds are with our trainings and what we have to turn in. It's gonna be different than what we had to turn in this year, so, it's, instead of called a plan of work, it's now an integrated preparedness plan, and everything in it is based more here rather than them telling us what to do. We have to decide what we're gonna do, but it has to fit their criteria, so there's no problem. I made follow-up calls, the last 2 days to all of the villages, cities, and towns that applied for damage assessment. I believe all the extensions have been filed now, and I think you should have gotten approval yesterday. I think I got 4 of them last night, I didn't look at them, they came in kinda late. So, but I'll look at them again just to make sure, so I'm making sure they get their paperwork done so they don't miss out now that they filed. That's what's going on. The E grants. You didn't get them? Well, I'll have to look, maybe you did get yours yet. I got 4 of them yesterday, I just figured it was you since I did 4 of them yesterday.
Oh.
So, but I'll look after the meeting. On the ambulance side, we got 250 back. With that, 250 needed new back brakes in order to pass inspection, because the parking brake wouldn't hold it, and it has to in order to pass state inspection, so we had to put another $500 in that truck that we're getting rid of, but it'll be around another 12 to 18 months, so it'll get some use. No issues really with any of the other trucks, other than we're short-staffed at times. Not so much all the time, it's just when somebody takes a vacation, or we got one in Sheldon that's in, I think she's on a cruise right now, so then we're short down there. So, you know, it takes a lot of time. We had 4 students that completed the recent EMT class, they're working on taking a written and practical test. This is for 3 of them we sponsored, and the 4th one I'll reimburse as soon as you get your paperwork, for taking the class. They just gotta get through the testing portion, which is usually the hardest part. Refresher down in Sheldon was complete last weekend, I think, or the weekend before. They went for another 20 hours, so they got that taken care of. And our emergency medical responder, first responder, refresher is scheduled for April 15th and 16th, and that's here at Lady Smith at the fire hall. We'll have 14, 15 people in that refresher, so, and I pay for that, and the service pays for that also. I went to I got but it should be 1. We'll be attending the EMS leadership class online. One of the EMTs asked if it would be all right if she took it, and I said, well, absolutely, it's only $25, and they do it, hour and a half a night on Wednesday nights for 6 weeks, so she's gonna take that. And the next one is I am working on getting that public information officer training in our region. I don't know where it's gonna land, but, I know Ashley showed interest in going to it, there's a few other people in the county that should go. The last one, where did I tell you that was actually, Waukesha, I think, was the closest one we could find, and I said, yeah, we'll get one closer than that. So we're still working on getting that up here. I sat in on biohazard and fire extinguisher training that, Dustin put on, the safety guy. It was, good training for people. I think a lot of people in the courthouse got some good out of that. He's gonna make some videos available for my staff, since it doesn't make sense to bring them all in here for a class like that for an hour and a half. So he's gonna give me some videos and stuff that will, give them the same thing, and they already do the biohazard, training online, so that gets them to check the same box. Also renewed my CPR instructor, all of the licensure for EMS is coming due the end of June. Typically in the almost over 30 years I've been doing this, that has become available usually in the fall, right, Bill? To be able to go and reapply. It's March, it's due in June, and they still don't have the application out, so I don't know what's going on, but they're really. Huh?
State.
It's the state, yeah, so they're dragging their feet. There's also an update to this came out since I made this report. The state updated the scope of practice for all levels again, and that's what skills each level of EMS can do within their certification or licensure. And they updated it, and they added a couple things to the EMT level again, just as far as I can tell, just on the transfer side, so if you're doing transfers, you have to do this. And it's a couple things that we've been doing forever, just because we do. Now they made it required, which means we gotta add it to our operational plan, which means that I gotta totally update our operational plan for two things that we've been doing since I've been here, 12 years. Nasal gastric tubes, we've been able to monitor those forever. So if the doc here puts one in, we can transfer bracelet with that in. The other one's a Foley catheter, and that's a monitoring too, so we can't put it in, we can't take it out, we can't do anything with it, except make sure it stays where it belongs, and now that's required that we take a training to do that. I can't imagine what Dr. Capronian's gonna say about that, he's not gonna be happy about that.
Two pieces of tape we have to take training.
That's right, yeah, make sure it's taped down and then leave it alone, so, and I'll be working on that here. The hospital is moving Saturday, so, I believe that includes everybody but the ER. We stop taking patients to the ER at 6 o'clock Saturday, and we start taking them to the new ER. Until then, starting today, if a helicopter comes in, we have to pick up the crew at the new hospital and take them to the old hospital, because the back where they land helicopters there is full of semi-trailers as they're loading things to move to the new hospital.
Is the new helicopter landing spot ready?
Yeah, they got it all plowed out finally and salted.
They got the lights and everything else
Yeah,
working?
they got the lights
Oh,
flashing, I guess, yeah, cause they put out the code yesterday with
Okay.
Cause huh? Yeah, in the wrong place. So I've got an overhead if you wanna stop and look at it. The ER is on the east side of the building, they put the helicopter pad on the southwest side of the building, so they have to push the patients all the way through to get there. And they could've just went straight out of the ER, right to the field, but
There are several problems. I think we're gonna have some problems with backing into that garage running right in front of the entrance door.
yeah, the entrance to the ER, we have to turn around and back in, and by the time you get the head far enough to back in, I think you're gonna be in front of the ER entrance. And you can't cut it any shorter because they've got a 8-foot, 6-foot
island.
lift station right in the way, so that placement was not good. I talked to Al Larson, who used to be maintenance at the hospital, he said, well, at least this one's outside, he said the one at the old hospital's inside, so if it ever backed up, they got all that nice smell of sewage inside the hospital, so. But, yeah, so there's some things we're gonna have to get used to over there. The door, they made it plenty big, I think it's 24 feet wide, it's a humongous door. So if anybody hits the side of that door, they really shouldn't be driving. So, cause most of the time they could be able to plug it right in the middle, unless somebody else is on one side. So, and the meetings are listed.
Do we have to approve the training, the online training at all?
No,
Okay.
no, she's gonna do that from home.
Just checking.
Yeah, just out of county training. And that's, yeah. When I put in, for instance, who did we just send? The folks that we sent to Green Bay, or the ones that we sent down to the Dells, when I put in for them to get paid, I also had to include your minutes. That was approved, and I've never had to do that before. Now I get to do that, so, okay.
Clears the record.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
Okay, no training class?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
If it is, it's in the county, so.
I think the ambulance report stresses exactly what I've been saying for a damn long time. other than staff shortages on 3 squads, we need more EMTs.
You know,
Yeah, we gotta keep working for them. They don't pop out of the woodwork just because they feel nice anymore, so.
and it seems like the more people that take it around here and come back and talk about their disgust, and this isn't just Rice Lake Technical College, it's Eau Claire, it's North Central, doesn't matter where they take it. People come back after taking it and going, yeah, I would never do that again, and then they scare people off.
Yeah,
So I'm tempted, I don't have a lot of time, but I'm tempted to run for state EMS board, so that we can get a little more of that conversation from us to the state, through the EMS office. The only one we have up in this part of the state is Jan Vickerson from, Bayfield County, and, whatever's open right now, but I don't like the idea of having to run to Madison for meetings, so if they would be online, I wouldn't mind doing it, so.
So what are people saying about Blue Cross that's so bad?
Well, it's, the lecture portion of it's online, which people that are over 30 hate.
yep.
If they're under 30, they're fine with it, but they don't like it if they're, well, especially over 40 or 50, and some of those folks are the ones that have the time to do this.
Would be a majority of that.
Right. And,
And they're training you to be a paramedic when you can't do it anyhow when you graduate.
right,
You know, it's aimed for that, and it's ridiculous.
yeah, they're training you up to be a paramedic is what they're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
they've added so much stuff to make you prepared to take the paramedic class, but most of these people here are not gonna take a paramedic class, they don't care. So, and if we ever get a paramedic, I'd be shocked, because the hospital's still talking about hiring staff to put another ambulance on Rice Lake to do all the transfers out of here. Well, if we're not doing transfers, it's a lot of money to run a paramedic ambulance, $1.5 million a truck is what we were told by the people that wanted to take over the ambulance. And if you're not recouping that in transfers, you're not gonna recoup it on $200 a call on 911, so that part doesn't make sense. So, yeah, we gotta
And we were making money on our transfers at an EMT basic class.
level, yep. And we still do a few.
Yeah.
You know, the full-time crew, everyone that comes up, unless the weather's really bad, they take it. So, you know, these last couple of storms, they called me and said, do we really have to take a transfer to Eau Claire? And I said, no, tell them to go in the morning when light, sun comes up, unless it's life or death, but it's not worth putting 2 more people on the road, and that kind of hazard, so it makes sense. And I leave that up to them, I'm not gonna, from my house, I'm not gonna make that decision for them, if they're too scared to go, why would I send them? So, it's not safe. But, so yeah, we keep working on it, the gal in the UW, we're working on something for the fair. She's gonna have, of course, an information booth, and then she's giving away some stuff for emergency management, and we're gonna have some EMTs there too to, spread out, put out brochures and talk to people going by about taking the class and see what we can do. And try to get more of that, where they're out.
Yeah.
The one current EMTs are out telling people that it's not that bad, yeah, Of course, they tell everybody I'm the best boss in the world, that helps a lot, First you gotta get them hired. But yeah, we got work to do. And the ones that are currently working are working really hard. And there's a lot of, people putting in overtime and working long hours, and especially through these storms, because they're staying at the hall because they're 10 miles away in good weather. They're 10 minutes away, they'd be 20 minutes away in crappy weather, so they stay at the hall. Well, I'm not gonna have them sit there for nothing, so.
So are we getting paid to put an ambulance at ER then during this whole transition? We're supposed to be putting an ambulance there in case somebody goes to the wrong place?
Saturday morning for 2 hours, we're putting one out front of the old ER,
Yeah,
that's it.
okay.
And they didn't say anything about paying us.
I would send them a bill.
Yeah, I probably won't know.
They're screwing up so bad. Are our buttons working to open the garage doors yet?
No, we don't have garage door openers yet. They're supposed to get them today or tomorrow, and then Doug's gotta program them all, and hopefully we'll have them by Saturday morning.
Well, then he's gotta get them for Sawyer County, he's gotta get them for Gilman, he's gotta get them for
20 of them.
Cornell.
20 of them they're supposed to
Okay.
get, so. Yeah.
Actually,
And there's no push button on the outside of that door.
and there's no push button in ER either, if something happens.
No, you grab a clipboard with a card on it, and that's how you're gonna get in and out.
Yeah.
And then when you leave, you put the clipboard back.
No, I'm saying ER, if everything else fails,
Oh, to get in that way?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's one over there either.
No. I mean, if you forget some of these minor things, like a garage, what
Yeah,
else
that's
did you
on the
forget?
opposite side of the building.
Building from the hell of that, yeah, they didn't build a garage for storage, so, yeah, so they have nowhere to put their own trucks and equipment.
We are also losing radio communication.
That's my next question.
Too.
Yeah, we're gonna test that early next week and see what we actually have. Cause currently, when my ambulance is called dispatch, or anybody, the hospital on the EMS frequency, it goes to the hospital, cause the repeater's out there, and then it comes back to dispatch through cable. So it's good communications back that way, but now the hospital's moving and they're not moving that repeater. They have a different system, and so my understanding is we won't have a repeater, but we'll have direct radio contact with the hospital when you're 5 miles away or so.
Which is
Remembering
kinda
that they're
late.
in a hole. And then we'll also have contact with dispatch when we're that close. But the hospital can hear dispatch, but they can't talk to them. So the hospital has to make a phone call to dispatch in order to have traffic that way. And I
And
don't
they're
know-
so short-staffed.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that, but that's, they went to voice over IP radio and phones, and that's the problem. Their radio traffic is internet-based, not VHF. So, yeah, it's gonna cause some problems for a while. Now, we'll still have good, communications on fire, just gotta get everybody here in Ladysmith that's not used to using fire, cause they never have had to, used to using that frequency to get on it, so. Yeah, there's gonna be some boogers for a while, that's for sure.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe how big they're gonna be too. It's gonna be like the lady went down to Marshfield Clinic or Marshfield Hospital when it opened to have surgery for cancer, and they put her out or started her on a program with a series of drugs, and all of a sudden realized they didn't have a doctor lined up for her. So you think they're gonna do any better here? I doubt it.
You mean a surgeon?
Yeah.
She was there for surgery.
Yeah, they didn't have a surgeon, but it didn't feed down to the staff that started prepping her. She was not happy, neither was her husband. Whoa.
I wouldn't be happy either, cause they make you not eat for half a day, and that's not like.
That's why I'm asking these questions, because I saw it happen in Eau Claire, and they screwed up so bad. They never even talked to the staff out here, nobody.
And the way we back into the garage here is just like right in Eau Claire, right in
Yeah.
front of the ER. And I think the other one they built that was new in Monaco was the same way, so it's the same plan. The one in Eau Claire's bigger.
And I know there's gonna be EMTs who are doing a very serious 1033, are just gonna drive right in.
They're gonna drive in, you know.
Yeah. And then they're gonna have to make sure somebody stands behind the rig when they back out, and do it the old fashioned way.
Yeah, there's gonna be more teams backing up in order, and not back out over the top of that lift station.
Yeah.
The place to go around about that far, so you know, shear them right off.
I'm glad I'm out.
All right, that's all I got.
What about payment of the bills? Any questions on the bills?
Move.
We got a motion to approve, pay the bills, and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And review the budget.
Looks like right now on the ambulance side, we're 4,000, positive. Of course, that, you know, there's a lot of variables there that, you know, they take out certain money because of write-offs and blah, 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 that hasn't even been collected yet, and all that good stuff, but that's what it looks like right now. Our ambulance grant, we got 61,600 in it, because we got that extra 80,000 this year. That stuff's all spent, it's just not spent on stuff that is 14 to 40 weeks for delivery. So, as it comes in, I gotta ask for an extension on that grant, I gotta do that next week. LEPC's right where it should be, and we don't have the grant money yet. And emergency government, the 38,000, almost all of that will come back, with the two grants, 34,007, so we get 41,000 in grants, so that'll be positive too when we get the grant money. We never get the grant money in time to put it back into next year, they always gotta do a late entry, because it comes so late. And this year they backed the closing date, 1st of January instead of the 1st of October, so they stole another couple months for themselves, you know, to get it done timely. But it'll come, that's the way it is every year.
Yeah, this is for last year.
That's for last year, you know. Yeah, this year. Sure, you don't get your luck this year till July. I'm sure. I hope we're not over budgeted yet. 2 months in. That's sad.
Any news on that house for sale between you or Ashley?
No,
No, Hazard and
no. Property said they didn't want to own it, so.
Really?
Property committee chair said we don't want to, well, I mean, basically, that's what he said, right, Ashley? That, then we got maintenance, we got all that other stuff, so they
For
didn't
what
want to use
reason?
it, so that.
Oh, because you have maintenance.
Cost for it, yeah. And I haven't.
We're paying for maintenance on the rent.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the sign out there, so I don't know if it's sold. There was an offer on it when we found out about it. I just don't know if it ever did sell or not. I was by there last night, but I guess I didn't look to see if the sign was still there. It could be under the snow. Yeah, it was only sticking out about that far before, so. Yeah, if you want any more information, feel free to talk to Mr. Hauser. Cause I didn't talk to him, Ashley did.
it was a hard no right from the start.
Oh, yeah, he has a lot of hard no's, but he doesn't have reasons for why he's saying no a lot of times.
Okay, anything else on the budget?
I don't think so. We've got some, like I said, a bunch of stuff coming in on the new budget, but a lot of that's grant funded. I haven't got the final drawings on the ambulance yet either. I sent them the approval after the last meeting and I haven't seen the final drawings, so. It's ordered, so it's on the list, it's just, they always send us the final drawings to make sure that everything's in there that we want. And then after that, if you add something on, it costs you extra, so. So I always compare it to the old trucks, before I close that out. That's it.
Okay. Then we have the medical examiner.
Just curious, is there any point in trying to pursue that further, that house or not?
Is there any point?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think
It's
it's
just flat out.
he doesn't wanna own any more properties that they're taking care of.
Like I said, that would be between you and Mr. Hauser.
And his committee.
And his committee.
What are you laughing for?
Ashley and I gave it an effort.
Ready? In February, we had 2 natural deaths, 1 accidental death, for a total of 3 deaths. We had 1 autopsy, 6 cremation, 3 hospice. Doug was on call for 23 hours last month, and we had 1 donation, request. I gave the little saving sheet, I made it out so that it's across from each other, it shows.
I think this is ridiculous. You're the committee now, stop comparing it to the past. Compare the difference of what he was doing and you're doing. If you wanna do that, fine. Otherwise, just what your current stuff is, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I think that you're doing the same thing to me, so, I mean, you're comparing me to him.
I am.
And,
It's any department, if
That's-
it changes, you have to compare what they're doing before to what they're doing now, and are they doing everything they're supposed to do?
and I'm comparing that I'm doing the best I can,
Yep,
and we're
that's fine.
saving a ton of money. We're saving a ton of money. It was not I was not the oversight committee that let this department go in 2010 from $16,000 budget to 2022 to $140,000 budget. Something went wrong in the last 12 years where that budget got so dynamic that, you know, I don't know what went wrong.
I don't
But
think it went
I-
wrong, it went different.
It went different at a very high cost.
Well, talk to some of the family members, see what they think.
The family members are getting the same amount of care as they were before. I'm just not charging for a phone call. You know,
Well,
those
I
are the
agree
kind of
with that.
things that, and I wanna let you know how much you're saving. If you don't want that anymore, you don't have to have it. Anybody who wants it can have it, anybody who doesn't have to take it. The scenic cot, March first, they said it would be another 6 to 8 weeks, so it's been since
6 to 8 weeks.
September of 2021, it's been a year and a half. I don't know if we should wait those 8 weeks, see what they say again, and then maybe decide what we're gonna do, because I don't know if it's the actual company that we ordered it through, or if it's the actual manufacturer of cot itself.
Is that a power cut?
No,
Well, it doesn't power lift?
no,
Cause I know that if it's a striker, they had problems with some of their
oh,
power lift components, they held our cots back because of it.
no, it's just a regular mortuary cot. So I guess we'll revisit that again in 8 weeks. Activities, we have, our skull, who we call Sadie, is on her way down to the state lab to do DNA testing. They're gonna put her in CODIS. If she doesn't get a hit on CODIS, then, they're ready to do some genealogical testing, see if they can find out who she is that way. We're going to put an ad out, here this week, to hire another deputy. Request to attend training. I'd like to know if I could do an online training course. It's through, Death Investigation Training Academy. It's $825. That includes 277 lessons. It would probably refresh me, you know.
It's online.
Yeah, it is online.
So when it's online, it's technically not out of county,
Okay,
so we don't have to have committee approval for that, just if
Okay.
you're going to be traveling out of county.
okay. Well, it was, $825. I wanna make sure you guys are okay with that.
You must have a training line, right, in your budget?
I'm sure you do. Yeah. Okay, then the next is invoices.
Any questions on that?
Yeah, didn't somebody bail out of Ramsey County and start their own autopsy business for a less price?
You know what, I'm not sure, but I did see online, I can check into that. And then I did.
I don't remember where I saw it, but.
And I did see online, I listened to a presentation that a woman was giving to her, either the county board or her committee. They were gonna start something also, and it was a new technology, that they were gonna do like scans and, all this good stuff. Started in the northwest part of the state, which it kind of bordered on Minnesota too. And for the life of me, I couldn't find that again, but I will look
Cause there
that
is
up.
one, he was a coroner for Ramsey.
Okay.
And the way the feeling is with hospital these days, you better just run your own private business than you are work for a hospital.
Because there's nowhere else to go. I
Yeah.
mean, really, so that is
I'll try to remember
something,
where I found it too.
that is something
Damn
I'll check
computer.
into. Cause it is very expensive.
Huh?
That'll be interesting.
Yeah,
There's some options in this.
yep. Motion to approve.
Okay, we have
Did we
a
do that
motion.
already?
No, we don't have a motion, we have a motion now, is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And the budget looks good for last year.
Okay. Sheriff's report.
ready. You guys ready for me?
No. Motion to leave.
Oh, let's get there.
We welcome you with open arms.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I got to see you guys today. Especially you, Kudo. Average daily inmate pop was 31. We still don't have any on EMP for our county, right? One, new one.
She's been on for about a month.
Inmates housed out of county is 4, we're only paying for one of those, for Mr. Reed, but his jury trial's coming up here in April, 2 of them. I think they're both week-long jury trials for sexual assault of a child, incest.
So will he stay here or we go back and
He will
forth every
stay
day?
here while he's at
We'll
the
keep
trial.
him here.
We'll just have to put him somewhere where his relatives who work here don't have contact with him.
Right.
And we're paying, what, how much a month to house him over there?
About $1,300.
$1,300 a month. So hopefully, we can, if he's convicted of his crimes, he'll be sentenced. Sometimes that takes 2 to 5 months for sentencing hearings. So only paying for one. Trainings, I can speak for the patrol trainings, the tactical medical training. That's in-depth, week-long TAC med training where they learned a whole bunch of gunshot wound training, stab wound training, airway training. So 2 guys went to that, and we're gonna have those 2 guys instruct the rest of our staff this year. They'll probably need, we have 6 department meetings scheduled, every other month they are. They'll probably need 3 of those department meetings to, give the rest of the patrol guys the knowledge and information they need to help treat each other if they're shot or stabbed or a lung collapses or whatnot.
So does that mean you'll be carrying more stuff in the rig now then? to do
Well,
that,
so
or-
we currently, everyone carries a, first aid kit and a trauma kit.
Okay,
The trauma kits are probably twice as expensive as the first aid kits, cause that quick clot stuff's spendy and there's expirations on it. I just got, a couple months ago, I don't even remember where I got it from, I know we didn't pay for it. I got it for free from someone, but like 12 to 15 new quick clot stuff. But they expired in 2 years. And with it being anywhere from 120 to -40 in the squad cars, that eats on a lot of the equipment that's stored in them.
yeah.
But it'll be interesting. I gave them 3 department meetings worth, so 6 hours total to teach what they think is the most important for our guys to know. Instructor development, Dykeman and Neal went to that. They both, showed an interest in being instructors for our department. The more instructors we have, the more in-house trainings we can do. So they went to that, I went to that a couple years ago too, it was super boring training. But you have to have it in order to instruct and for guys to get credits. NETEC and COSCA, I have no idea what WSDS stands for.
That's the Wisconsin Sheriff's and Deputy Sheriff's Conference. They went to, Olenek went to the Wisconsin Land Information Conference with John Pitzel. He's been working with him to get a lot of our mapping stuff, so it jives with our CAD system. They're making ground on that.
That's still a huge headache, right?
It's a huge headache as far as getting the addresses to validate. Yesterday I sent out an email, or actually I got an email from the sheriff yesterday that they officially put up the signs for the east leg of B and the east leg of X. They are now County Z and County Q. Again, we got the email yesterday that said, hey, just so you know, the signs are going up today. Well, again, I talked to John Pitzel last night, and he's on vacation for the next 2 or 3 weeks, but there's nothing done on the mapping side, so it's, if anybody calls, they're going to be, you know, I wanted everybody to know that if you get a call, hey, I live on County Z, well, you're not not in Rusk County, well, yes, you are. So,
And then you're still gonna get people calling with the east or west.
oh, absolutely,
By far.
yeah, absolutely.
The people that live there are still gonna say, I live on the east leg of
Yeah.
B-Boy.
Yeah,
Right. So we're gonna have to train our people both ways.
Yeah.
Somebody calls and says they're on the east leg of B, well, they're gonna look at the new map and say, well, where's that? Well, okay, this used to make a horseshoe, and so,
It's like when 194 went to County D.
yeah.
Those of us that have been here for 20, 25 years still call County D 194 at
Right.
times. So, whatever, it'll just take some time. The new people that we hire will have no clue that that was all
Yeah.
County D and all County X.
Right.
25 years.
Yeah, sometimes. Upcoming trainings, one of our patrol guys is going to A-Ride school. That's A-Ride stands for Advanced Roadside Impairment. It's just more, all of the patrol is certified in field sobriety tests. This is just deeper into drug impaired driving and all that kind of stuff. I think every one of our patrol guys has gone to A-Ride. Duke and Zebro and Rook in service in Rice Lake and Intox in Rice Lake.
We may be removing Root from that training. I understand that she may be taking another job shortly. And if that does happen, then I'm not gonna send her to training and waste time and money, so.
So we're still losing dispatch trailers.
Right, we're still losing them. So, but anyway, that's on there for approval. If by some reason this offer falls through for her, then she'll go, but if not, then we'll scratch that.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve the trainings, or second? Moved and seconded, all in
Was
favor?
that Terry or Dan?
It was,
Okay.
any further questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, training's approved.
And if County Government Day is a major event, that's always good. That's our only major event, I guess, last month, where all the kiddos come and we give them tours and they ask questions. We did a little canine demo in the garage in the Sally Port where I hid a bag of heroin somewhere out there, and canine Kona came in and found it for the kids. One of the kids asked a question like, you guys just keep heroin like in your desks? I was like, no. It's actually in a locked box with a combination that gets checked by the DEA randomly and periodically. We have to do a whole bunch of paperwork, DEA federal paperwork, to get training drugs. And they're weighed and pictures are taken, and we bring them back, they're weighed again to make sure it's the same amount. And we have to do that every other year, I think is what it is, to get training drugs. So, no, we don't just have random drugs in our offices. Meetings, there's a list of the meetings attended for the month. Traffic safety isn't, that's every quarter, right?
Quarterly, yeah.
Quarterly, yeah. And the next page is the calls for service. I don't see anything on there that's crazy.
What time period is the last call?
We're not sure, because Ann over there used to do the report, and I told her I can start doing it. I'm thinking last month, but when we look it up in the computer, that doesn't match. And the year-to-date calls, I did enter those in. I thought that this was just a graph we could pull into the report, but Ann, for all of these years, has been hand entering all of those numbers. So
We're gonna try to fix that.
we're gonna try to
'cause
fix
that's very
that,
time-consuming.
because I did not have an extra.
If you look at the, where it says
To do
last,
that.
the final number there is 781. If you take 781 and times it by 12 months in a year, it comes out to 9,000 something. So,
Are there any specific calls you guys want on that, if we can narrow it down?
Marina and I were talking, so this is obviously a list of all the calls that we have built into our Spillman system. And she was wondering if there was a way we could shorten it up, but I don't know that that's what the committee wants. Like, I don't know if we can just pick 10 types of calls that you guys wanna see, or if we should just continue to do all of them that we have.
about if you were to take like say the most, how do you wanna word it, like the most important type of calls that we might be interested in?
Well, the only thing that I was
And
thinking
then
of,
the rest of ones hit like miscellaneous, that would cut the list.
the only thing I was thinking of is like, do you guys really care how many 911 hangups we had?
No.
Probably not. There's like at least 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on here that you guys really don't care about, like 911 hangups.
Only paper services.
Paper services, you guys don't care about that. So we can make it smaller a little bit, but I don't think we can just pick like 10 media worthy type calls. But we could probably take a few of them out, like information calls. What is that? You know, 911 hangups. Follow-ups, you guys don't care about follow-ups.
Why don't you come up with a list, and we'll look at the list, and then we'll compare it next month.
That sounds great.
Yeah. We'll take a few of these out of here.
Phil, is there any, do you do any follow-ups on 911?
Yeah. Yeah, so let's say your cell phone calls 911 and we call you, we can't get a hold of you, or your house phone, we'll go there and check on you. But if you answer like, oh shoot, sorry, I dropped my phone in the ice fishing hole and for some reason I call 911, we're like, okay. But if you don't answer, we can't make contact with you, then we go check.
Were you fishing with Ray last weekend?
I don't fish anymore, Tom, I have 2 kids.
She dropped her phone in the ice fishing hole.
Really?
Well, that's a good reason to go fishing, huh?
I'm going to Canada next month, actually. Any questions on the calls? Nothing that pops up to me, I don't think. Next page is the inmate housing. George can speak to that better than I can.
Yeah. A lot of the ES paperwork is the extended supervision, where the state of Wisconsin reimburses us for bed days that anybody that qualifies for reimbursable holds. Those are for those that are on extended supervision or felony probation hold. Let's see, yeah, moving on.
No questions? We can go to overtime costs. For traffic, you'll see that, it's higher in 23 as compared to 21, 22. That's because we're short a guy. We're short a deputy. So we had to fill his shifts. I'm hoping to have our new person hired by maybe Friday or Monday. He did his drug screen and physical yesterday. Sometimes it takes 2 days to get blood results back, sometimes it takes 3 or 4. But as soon as we get those results back, we will make him a final offer of employment. He will accept it, and we'll get him started in the FTO process.
That was that last interview we did.
Yeah, a
half
couple months ago, yeah, during OSEC.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's done and off of FTO by the 2nd week of June. It's a 12-week process. So we can be full staff again.
Jail ones are up a little bit too, we're still a man short and potentially going.
Maybe.
Potentially.
I looked at that and I remembered what you just said and I thought, oh yeah, and then the ones in training, it's like, oh.
Yeah, potentially we're gonna lose another one. The last couple rounds of interviews we had, those folks chose other options, and so we're back to square one there, so.
So, just for curiosity, the governor, I guess, is proposing that,
officers?
The correctional officers have a raise of like, to $33 an hour.
That's for state
That's for
employees.
state employees.
Right, but will that affect our ability to hire people too, if we don't raise our,
Oh, absolutely, it's going to,
and it's not done yet, I think it's not a done deal, but.
right,
Cause our last hire, we stole from the state
right.
because he was making more here than he would've at the state job, but now if the state employees get a pay raise to where it's gonna be, they'll be making a lot more than county jailers.
Right. And the biggest piece of that puzzle that the state has versus county jailers is they're protected. The retirement's protected, county jailers are not.
You see, there's a bill now going forward on that.
I hope it passes because it's definitely needed, definitely warranted.
Will they accept the way it's written now? It's like you pay the difference in cost?
I guess I haven't seen it, Phil, so I haven't.
Yeah, they'll make up the difference in retirement and I've been following, cause it comes to Wisconsin counties.
Oh.
There are 2 or 3 things on it.
I should research that because I'm curious, because I definitely been an advocate for that for years, I mean, it's.
After the meeting, I'll look it up, see if I can find the site.
Okay.
And the last few pages are little tiny bills.
Happy to see you had more than me this month.
I think we have to pay for an eye exam for this gentleman.
Why is there still shop at the cop on?
There's just some AP backup with finance, so.
Yeah, some of the bills, not all the bills are old bills that you're looking at.
It takes so long to carry it, or get rid of it on the line item after you're done using it.
Wisconsin Department of Justice, is that quarterly billing?
Is that what meals are, jail meals are gonna cost on a monthly basis?
The jail meals have been anywhere from 25,000. This month I think we paid 17,000. Just depends on how many people we've got up there, yeah. But,
Do you have a minimum amount you have to pay for it regardless?
No,
No,
it's per meal.
it's just
Per
per
meal,
meal, yeah. And too, like before with our jail meals, we weren't paying separately for milk or juice or anything like that, whereas now we're ordering it from Cisco and that's another added bill for jail meals, so.
Any other questions on the bill?
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve, is there a second?
I'll second.
Tom seconds it. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
There's, body worn camera stuff on the agenda. One of our deputies' body cameras stopped working, so we sent that back, it's under warranty, so we'll replace it at no cost. We're just gonna send them the old one back when we get the new one. We need to buy a new body cam, because we don't have a spare. So when a deputy breaks, we'd like to have a spare for him to use, so he's not without a body cam for several weeks.
Makes sense.
And we need to buy one more dash camera for the Durango, because that, when we implemented the whole dash cam, body cam program here, the Durango was the sheriff's squad, and he and I and the investigators don't have body cam or dash cams in our squads. Now that Durango is a patrol vehicle, let's put a dash cam in that, but we have a grant that would be able to pay for all that.
Does the grant cover the ones you have to buy them or not?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, the body cam for $28.90 and the dash cam for $8,400 would be purchased with the grant money.
So we'll pay for it initially and then submit to them for reimbursement. So the,
Grants you have to prove you paid up already, anyhow, before they give you money back.
Yeah, so these
They ain't gonna miss nothing.
2 items will go to property and finance too, so.
So a body cam and a dash cam, just those 2 items were $11,000. That's with warranty and with the software needed for them.
Make a motion, we proceed with it.
Second,
And moved and seconded, any further discussion?
to be paid out of grant.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All-
Initially, it will come from
Initially,
equipment,
yeah.
yeah, so, just so that that's in
It'll
the
show up as an
shop.
expense, but
Mhm.
reimbursed. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Radio upgrade?
Just, I got word that last week the FCC approved the licensing for the South Tower move. So once they actually issue the license, then we'll move that tower.
How long does it take to do it once you?
I wouldn't think, once they get it scheduled to move it, they should be able to do it in a day.
Probably 6 months.
We've been arguing about this for 6 months, so I'm hoping that it doesn't take that long. We're gaining. We're gaining.
Tower crews, the big thing, is line up the tower crew.
Right.
I noticed that the new cell towers they put up on our township, neither of them are working.
Right.
And he built them last summer.
Right.
But they didn't have all the equipment.
Yeah, there's nothing on them except the flashing light.
Decoys.
Yeah, decoys.
If they could, they'd not call up there and change those.
It's just something.
Me neither.
I finally dropped the flashing light on the water tower and showed, I found out we didn't need it, cause it was expensive.
It's not tall enough, is it?
No, that's short. But, you know, every 6 months we're paying, and it had a bulb and a backup bulb, like every 6 months we're paying. Dick the Cheaper was the only one willing to claim it and change it, and so it did get expensive, and so he finally looked at it, it was Ben Humphreys when he was out at the airport, said, showed him the height, he goes, what's this about? No, you don't go on. The engineers put it in, so they got their 6% off that whole part of it.
That's all I have.
And then separation jail dispatch.
Bill, one other thing, I did find a grant for naloxone.
Yeah.
So I'll be writing that, it's called the Leave Behind Program, but you can use it for your staff too, do you see that?
No.
They just started advertising it. It's so, if you went to a house and you knew there was a known user there that we'd Narcan a few times, you could leave some for the family too. That's what's pushing the grant. is
It'll
that-
hopefully replenish our supply though too.
I hope so, yeah. I wrote the gal an email yesterday, I'm waiting for an answer on that. No use getting it if we can't use it for staff, but if we use it for staff, that's good to go.
On that same note, I was contacted by Shannon Starr. I think she's an advocate for, I think she works for Marshfield Clinic. They got a bunch of grant money that they wanna implement more of this Narcan kind of stuff. They want us to give basically care packages to inmates when they leave that contain Narcan and drug.
The other thing was fentanyl strips.
Yes.
That's the other thing that's in this other grant.
Yeah,
is fentanyl
so
strips.
there's a big push right now to get,
We're supposed to give inmates that are leaving the jail goodie bags?
Yeah.
To go and use drugs?
Yeah.
Cause we could save you with the meds in your
That
goodie
makes
bag,
a lot of
yeah.
Right. And I
So
agree,
much
and,
sense.
you know, I think one of the red flags for me is our number one drug in this area is methamphetamine. Narcan doesn't work on methamphetamine, so I'm not gonna, go against what they're trying to do, but I just don't think in our area that it's a useful tool yet. I mean, yeah, we have a little bit of opioids in the area, but it's not as abundant as methamphetamine is.
Yeah, we don't have people OD.
No, we don't have that here.
But the reason we have Narcan mainly is to use it on ourselves.
Right.
So if one of our guys gets exposed to fentanyl and he drops, we can shoot him with the Narcan. One of our investigators was just testing some meth last month in his office, and we don't have fentanyl here hardly ever. We a lot of times don't take the precautions like Eau Claire, Bird Falls that they do he was testing this meth, and it tested positive for meth and fentanyl, he's like, shit. So then he put the gloves on and did other things, but, I mean, we might get drugs that test positive for fentanyl once, twice a year is all, but kinda spooked him for a second. So, like, literally, there was two of us that kinda watched him for like an hour to make sure,
So even if you ingest it by just touching?
even air.
Inhaling.
Or if you were
Really?
using it and I touched your skin.
Fentanyl's really wonderful stuff. I mean, it's
That-
nasty.
So like, if you open that bag of meth, and some of that would've come out of there just with the air, it could've knocked him down.
And
The
so,
amount you have to get is very, very dangerous.
yeah, it's a respiratory depressant, so you stop breathing. Not good.
So, our Narcan is expired. Right now, every deputy and investigator carries two of them, usually one on their person and one in their squad. Jail has 4, 5, 6 doses of it, but it's $60 a dose too. So it's pretty expensive.
And I have about 400 of them in my office, all expired. For them. And I was handling for them.
We're trying to get new stuff.
Expired or not, but.
Did Lisa Lissick apply for the grant?
She applied for one too, a different grant. I don't know how she did with that.
Okay,
She went to a training, she come back to one, looks just like you guys, and I said, yeah, that's what we want right there.
yeah,
About 50 of them. And then, so that's what she was applying for.
okay.
And we use a different dose on the ambulance, so they use a lot higher dose, so they can wake, cause it's for them to wake them up. We just wanna keep them alive. We really don't wanna wake them up in the ambulance, because if we give them that strong Narcan, they wake up, they're pissed.
Yeah.
Cause they just spent however much money on heroin to get high, and then we just knocked it out. So we don't have a taser, we don't have a gun, we don't have that in the back of the ambulance to protect ourselves, so we just wanna keep them breathing. The hospital can wake them up when they get there.
Makes sense.
And if, I mean, we have the equipment to it, they're not breathing, we can breathe for them, so we get them. It's a lot more efficient if they do it themselves.
Yeah, I was reading an article, some county, and I was pushing this big thing on Narcan, with the whole quote by, I think it was an RN. I was going to save it, I light my fire one morning and go, uh-oh, wrong newspaper. But anyhow, they were talking about meth and fentanyl, it's like, you're a medicinal person, you know, why are you saying this?
Yeah, they're mixing them together.
Yeah.
Okay, the next meeting.
Oh, I just got one quick thing. Is our radio system getting worse and worse all
Yes.
the time?
Yep.
Cause it's 20, 30 years old.
I know, cause it seems like we're getting a lot less reception in Sheldon than we ever got before.
Daily, we have patrol guys that are out on calls.
Yeah.
That cannot talk on their portable radios.
I'm just sort of wondering, if we have Ashley here, is there any way we can I mean, I think everybody agrees we need a radio system. Is there any way we can purchase it now and then put it into the big package later? I think we've done that before with major purchases. I mean, it's bad, I've been listening to it too, it's like, I can't hear you.
We had a deputy last night, I was on my way home, he went out to a house south of Bruce, 5, 6 miles to try to arrest a guy on a warrant, we've been trying to arrest for a long
Yeah.
time. So he checked out there, and, he called for assistance, meaning he needs someone else, needs help. I was in Bruce, so I shot down south, and he tried to use his radio 3 or 4 times after that, and we never heard him. So when I got there, he said, "Did you hear my traffic?" I said, "No."
Well, that's why I asked, because I've been hearing that a lot, like, listening to, I mean, we gotta start doing something, we can't wait till the jail is possibly built to put this all together. Is there any, I'll just let you think about it before the next ad hoc building, is there any way we can make a purchase now
Yes, we have a reimbursement resolution.
and roll back into it, this, we need it. I'll agree with George for once.
Oh, thanks.
For once.
The proposal that, you know, that we brought out, the 2.5 million or 2.2 or whatever it was, is just to bring our system back to new. It's not upgrading anything, it's just bringing our system to current what we have to new. Okay, I mean, in a true upgrade, which I truly think we should really look at, a true upgrade is potentially adding a southwest tower.
Yeah, there's nothing down there.
No,
Even our squad radios, which are way more powerful than portables, don't work down there.
in
Ambulance
that,
does until you get past Platers down in that hole there.
right, in that 2.5 million or whatever, it does include all new squad radios, that is included in that price.
Yeah, 'cause that technology's getting
Oh, absolutely, you know, we've changed from car to car to car for the last,
I've been here for 20 years and we've had the same radios.
right, so,
That's why I'm bringing it up.
I agree.
Hopefully we-
Technology has completely
Right.
changed.
Yes, yes.
And though, and every time the guys come to work on our dispatch councils, they just pray that they touch something and it doesn't kill them, because there's no fixing them.
I mean, the ideal situation would be wait until we get to all the dispatch, but that's too far.
I agree, Phil, I mean, I don't think, sooner than later, because one good lightning strike power surge, we're in serious trouble, serious trouble.
That's why I'm glad Ashley walked in today.
And she's so happy to be here.
I mean, I understand that it's gonna cost significant amount of money, but I think we're to the point where we don't have a choice anymore.
Would that qualify for ARPA funding at all, or do we have any other?
The spending of ARPA money has been, and no, there's not enough to cover it.
Money, money.
Won't say ARPA, Terry was more his chair.
Hyperventilating.
Maybe what we ought to do is take some of the extra radios we have and give each one to a county board member, and now listen to what the heck is going on out there. You know, cause you can hear it all the time.
We can put people in our squads and bring them to places 50, 400 places in the county and show them that our radios don't work.
I had nothing else. In that southwest corner, when I was doing the damage assessment for the December storm, I had no GPS on my pictures because can't get satellite down there in the holes either. I was told by Nick, who is a lot smarter than I am, that I should hold the iPad outside the window and you get a little better signal on the satellite.
And, you know, the only way to cover those areas is to add towers.
I've got Bruce.
Would the tower in Big Bend be a possibility improvement for that area?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it'd only be from that tower to the Barron County line, is maybe 8 miles.
That's why I'm asking.
No, it's a great option, but again, we're gonna have to add radio frequencies, we're gonna have to add, you know, so. It all adds up, but,
Yeah.
Chip would just added a radio frequency for paging, got it programmed in all the radios and it doesn't work.
Yep.
So we got a
Washburn
whole bunch of
County-
radios that aren't working.
Washburn did a big upgrade, last year through, they used GenCom and they added towers and they added frequencies and they did a big upgrade up there.
Yeah, I know, listen to Chip with Cornell a lot, we've gone down there a couple of times, we don't hear the pages, but all of a sudden we're like, oh.
Cause they went to a strictly page channel, which in a way makes sense, because ours, like I said, we have a fire frequency and you got a couple calls going on, or you got a call going on, and they're yapping back and forth, you know, pick me up at the corner, or, you know, go down here to get water, wherever. Well, we can't page over that, at least that way, if they have a specific page channel, the only thing that's on that channel is the tones going out, so there's no communication on that channel, so that way it doesn't jam it, it's always open. But then again, you're right, you don't hear the pages,
Yeah.
you just hear them go in service and say, where are they going? Yeah.
There, something to do with your spare time.
We're smiling.
I can't wait to run into her in the hallway and hear what she's gonna say.
Okay, the next meeting date and time was.
Oh, I have one more quick thing, I guess I'll talk to Jeff on the trails,
The trails.
ATV trails, UTV trails. We've been told all along that the only maximum fine of $232 for anything in there. Well, Dave Williams handed me this thing, and it says anybody right down to the local county sheriff or municipal peace officer may enforce these laws, and the fines range from $150 to $2,000. And a lot of people on the committee said, yeah, we're gonna start finding people to make it hurt. Now, because $200 doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so for DNR citations, for every DNR citation, there's a minimum and a maximum.
Okay,
With traffic citations, it's just one set number, there's no minimum, maximum.
okay,
So when let's say I write a citation for operating ATV on closed trails, when I populate that citation on my MDC, it'll give me a set amount, and it's usually towards the bottom. The DA's office can increase that amount to whatever the maximum is, if they want to.
Yeah.
When we populate that citation, gives us a set amount of what it's at.
Okay.
But there are minimums and maximums for all DNR violations.
So you're saying we gotta talk to the DA?
Yeah, it'd be up to them to say, no, I think instead of 267, this should be 419, or whatever.
That's one thing the committee agrees on. We don't agree on a lot, but one is raise that fine, make it work.
Yeah, DNR citations have minimums and maximums.
Okay. There, I'm done now. That's my last note.
Okay, so April 12th.
Sneak it in there, Mark.
Anybody have a problem with that?
I will not be,
Well, that's a problem.
so, I don't know what in the past, what has happened.
And it's usually Katie.
Somebody's
Yeah.
coming,
Okay.
done it.
I'll just send somebody for me.
That's what I told her, Anna usually comes.
We're adjourned.
All right.
Clear the agenda.
Well, alright.
Oh,
Well,
I
thank you
asked
for
you a
watching.
question for you.
I need to talk to you.
Get on there.
Yeah.
So, let me go on.
You should be happy this morning.
Good job, George. Good. See, that's what you gotta do. Lay it here. Listen here.
You guys, not me, so I'll print out every print out and mail back to him.
Okay.
It's just an extension, it's not cheap.
That's the one.
So it's all legal, you know, it's not, you're just sending stuff out of the.
Right.
Up till now, it's been paid around. At least about $5,000 to be able to.
A long time. I was just saying,
Great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah, I think the ones that have-